What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, and back with some more trance, and this time we're going to listen to some melodic slash progressive trance from the 90s. Those two terms aren't exactly perfectly synonymous, but back in the 90s they were sort of functionally synonymous, and that a lot of record shops I went to would list any trance that was primarily or at least significantly melodic. They would just list it as progressive trance. Whereas, trance that was like faster and more driving would be hard trance, and then some hard trance as well as some other trance where acid was like the main sort of component or the main feature of the track. That would be called acid trance. So again, labels are imprecise. They are semantic stickers that you put on something which may or may not perfectly characterize the actual substance underneath. Nevertheless, I would indeed call this progressive or melodic trance. I think both labels work. I believe this is very late 90s. As I'm looking at it here, I don't see it, but I can look it up in my Discogs collection in a moment. But we're listening to a tune by Atlantis, which sometimes is listed as Atlantis ITA, like Atlantis-ITA. So I don't know, I think in different releases in their catalog it's listed both ways, because I have a remix of this tune that came years later, and it's like kind of like a down-tempo psybient version of this track. And they're listed as Atlantis ITA. So anyway, we're listening to See You in the Next Life. This is on Infusion Records. As I said, I think this is very late 90s. I'm going to guess 98, although I don't see it here. I'll check in a moment. I should also mention Public House is a hard house slash hard trance label. This sleeve is completely unrelated, but the original sleeve I got this record in was in really bad shape, so I think I swapped it out for obviously a Public House record that I have somewhere. But yeah, we're going to listen to the original mix, even though there is a Push remix on the other side. Push, very prominent remixer and trance artist more generally from the 90s. But yeah, we're going to listen to the original by Atlantis or Atlantis ITA. And it says produced by MC Hare and Alex Oela for H1 Limited. 1,000 times I've died and 1,000 times I've come back to life. I'm not sure what that quote is in relation to, but that's like on the label. Is there anything in the run out groove? No, it just looks like the catalog number. So let's get to it. This is the original mix of Atlantis ITA, See You in the Next Life on Infusion Records, and I will now look up the year. I'm, as I said, predicting it'll be 98. '99. 1 year off. But definitely this is like end of the original. In fact, it's already moving into. I mean, trance is a funny thing. Like, someone rightly commented on the channel on an acid-trance record that I reacted to. And trance in '94 is different than trance in '97, which is different than trance in 2000. To me, this is between like the second and third phase there. This is still kind of mid-90s trance, melodic trance, but you can feel maybe a bit of the Oakenfolds, like Paul Van Dyke flavor that became big right around the turn of the millennium, and to some people's minds made trance commercial to the point where like it lost some of what it had been. Those vocal synths are like there is acid in there, but it's not the main feature, right?
Next life.
Love the bass line. And it's not just the vocal synth, they have like vibration. It's not like vibrato, but it's like someone's like fragmenting the vocal pad synth. I'm known for mixing acid techno and hardcore in more recent years, but of the first like 50 records I got in 1998, when I first started buying records and I got my turntables, I'd say 30 of them were kind of in this style. It was just, I found good stuff in this style easier than I found acid techno or acid trance. And again, the title "See You in the Next Life," right? You'll see as this track plays out in the real melody, which is about to come in. It's very reflective in a way, but like reflective of we're coming to the end. Like it feels accepting of whatever comes next.
I'll see you in the next life.
There's a subcategory of trance that's called dream trance. Robert Miles perhaps being its most famous practitioner. I wouldn't necessarily put this in that category because there's no like piano, but it's very like stand on a hillside and be emotional sort of trance. There's an acid stream deep inside. Melody almost like shields it entirely, but you can hear glimpses of it. And it's like cascading down when you hear it. I think it is whipping up and whipping down, but I like how in this case it's a light touch. Again, I like the dead pauses. They're real, like, it's like the track like holds its breath for a second and you're just waiting. So the bass line, electric. So it's like, because again, you have the like, the deep bass, but then this like more electric bass on top of it. A little acid oscillation is teasing me. It's like every time I want to prove it's there, it's like the sort of jet, like percussive hit of those measure changes.
I'll see you in the next life.
It has a very like, I think of the right word, like, again, sort of like horizontally oscillating feel to it. Like the melody pushes over to one side and it flows around to the other right as the measure comes back around. which I mentioned, it's like a psybient downtempo version, is fantastic. Go listen to my The Morning Sky mix in my ambient excursion playlist. The Beat Seekers remix of this tune starts that mix, so like I said, go check out The Morning Sky if you want to hear a really cool remix of this. This, by the way, if you've already mixed into your new tune enough that there's a kick and, you know, bass line, those hanging elements over the incoming tune, excellent blending. Although, admittedly, my copy's a bit rough with those pops. Little, like, digital glass raindrops at the end. I love it. Yeah, it's a really cool tune. I've always liked it. I will always like melodic trance, even if I don't mix it as much as some of the other styles. And again, you know, my various early record collection was dominated by melodic and progressive trance records. Again, part of that is because I couldn't find a lot of acid techno or a lot of acid trance. I wanted to buy acid techno right away, but it was harder to find. And you know, I did find some pretty early, but it was only like in the next few years when, you know, I started driving farther away with friends. Like I had a number of DJ friends, and like sometimes like 3 or 4 of us, we'd go up to LA County and hit like 4 or 5 record shops, just make like a whole day of it. So in a little while after this, I started finding more of specifically what I was looking for. But I'm happy that I have a lot of melodic and, you know, progressive trance from the mid to late 90s. So yeah, let me know if you like this. Again, if you want to hear a cool remix, go listen to my The Morning Sky set in Ambient Excursion, because it's the first track. But yeah, there's a cool push remix on the other side, but I do think the original on this record is actually the winner. So let me know what you think. Other than that, thank you for listening and watching. I'll see you next time.